Let's get our guy in the mix. Joining us now from Indianapolis, CBS Sports senior college hoops writer Matt Norlander. Matt, we'll get to some matchups here in a moment, but if I sat here 2 weeks ago and told you that the Pac-12 would be headlining the Elite Eight with 3 teams in the mix, you would have told me what?
I would have told you I wouldn't have predicted that this was remotely possible, given just how these teams had looked during the regular season. They looked good, but not to this point. I would have told you, and I did tell you on CBS Sports HQ as far back as January, that USC was my Final Four dark horse. I didn't know then it would be in Gonzaga's region, so I'm going to pump the brakes there. But my bracket, listen, my bracket is somewhat a shambles. I got 4 of the 8 Elite 8 teams still there, but the one non-obvious Elite 8 pick that I gave you was USC, and that's where we have there. You saw what Isaiah White was able to do tonight. Big time stuff, because everyone knows about the Mobley brothers. Tajidi is certainly a clutch player there. For Isaiah White to add his name into the mix and remind the country of what USC is capable of on the offensive end and the defensive end, I'm not surprised there. This has been a top 10 team per the predictive metrics for just about a month now. For the rest of the league, obviously, it's something of a surprise. UCLA, I was in the building in Hinkle tonight. That's a top 3 game of this tournament. For them to get 23 in overtime after only getting 25 in the second half, Mick Cronin's done a wonderful job. The first team since VCU in 2011 to make the Elite 8 after getting to the first 4. And then, of course, Oregon State. Listen, it's one of the most random power conference teams to make an Elite 8, in my opinion, in the past 15, 20 years, because it was picked last in the Pac-12, Joe, has been able to win 6 straight win-or-go-home games. So, got to credit the Pac-12. It's only the second time ever in league history that it's had 3 teams in the Elite 8. The other time was 2001, and that just, as coincidence would have, it was also the last time USC made it this far in the Big Dance.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do as we move on towards Elite 8 action. Want to talk about a couple of these games here. Everyone, myself included, jumped off that Michigan bandwagon on the heels of the Isaiah Livers injury news heading into the tournament, but here they are. Manageable task ahead of them Tuesday in UCLA to try and punch their ticket to yet another Final Four. Not to discredit the remainder of the field, but is this Wolverines team Gonzaga's toughest test remaining in the field?
No, I don't think so, because let's consider what USC has here. A better defense than Michigan and a better big man than Michigan. All due respect to Hunter Dickinson, Evan Mobley is a better big man. So the Drew Timme versus Evan Mobley matchup is going to be maybe the best head-to-head we'll have in any regional final, Joe. I mean, Drew Timme has been Gonzaga's best player its past 2 games, its leading scorer. Obviously, Gonzaga is not short on options. Its offensive ceiling is higher than any team in college basketball. We've been talking about that for months. But I do think that USC and what it is on defense actually provides a more intriguing challenge potentially than Michigan, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Michigan. It's done a wonderful job. I mean, I'll have a receipt of all 8 teams at CBSSports.com posted on Monday, and I do have Michigan third in that overall ranking ahead of USC, but I've got USC to fourth or fifth there because I do think that they can give Gonzaga a real challenge. And I think Mark Few and that staff, after seeing what they did to Oregon here on Sunday night, they know that that's going to be a compelling matchup there. So Michigan certainly has an interesting challenge with UCLA, but I think the USC matchup for Gonzaga sets up as a little more difficult overall than what Michigan might provide in a 1-seed battle we'd all love to see in the Final Four.
USC also provides us an interesting opportunity there at the wagering window. That's where you see your big jump in odds to win the tournament. 16-1 right now, USC. That is the big jump there in the 5 slot. Let's talk about this matchup. Gonzaga, as you said, they can't get ahead of themselves. Formidable opponent on deck in the Trojans. What sort of problems, you talk about that matchup inside, but what sort of problems do the Trojans bring to the table in the face of this pursuit of perfection for Gonzaga?
Okay, so aside from the Mobley-Timme matchup, which I just got to, that's the headlining event there. Mm-hmm. Taj Edey against Jalen Suggs. You know, Jalen Suggs, we saw what he was able to do against Marcus Zagorowski and Creighton. He doesn't need to be the best player on the floor, but his mere presence gives Gonzaga a level that no other team can match there. So Taj Edey's going to have, you're probably going to have USC's top 4 players, Isaiah White, the Mobley brothers, and Taj Edey. They're going to have to borderline repeat what they were able to do against Oregon, against Gonzaga on 2 days rest. That is a mammoth task. Not that it can't be done. It can, but look for the Edey Suggs matchup. That'll be a big one there. And then for Gonzaga, defensively, as long as it can kind of lock in, because Timmy's not an elite level defender, like he's going to have his hands full with Mobley. And I know that USC is going to try and feed Mobley any kind of way you can. In fact, knowing they'll get the doubles, try and get Isaiah open for some touches there. I think this is fascinating. I still would like Gonzaga to win that game. Of course, I'm not going to shrug off that, but Gonzaga has not yet been challenged in this tournament. It's continuing to just beat teams and cover the spread, win by double digits here. USC seems to be a team that can give them a real challenge. I'm not saying it'll come down to the final 30 or 60 seconds, but I think it could be interesting deep into the second.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.